Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? Hope you're all doing very, very well. And welcome to another Monday magazine edition on the Kilt-Man channel. Yes, this is the little video where at the start of the week we just sit back, smell the air, shoot the shit, and talk a load of bollocks. Some would say that's all I ever do anyway, but this video is set aside specifically for just talking about stuff, things in life, things around the world, things happening for me, for you guys, for the world at large. And I'll be honest, this particular Monday magazine, I scanned the news today and I thought, oh boy, yeah, there is stuff happening. Of course there is. There's bloody wars and all sorts of things. Cost of living crisis, strikes aplenty, but none of it was remotely interesting. And I thought, oh shit, it's going to be a really crap session, this one, isn't it? And then I thought, no, we can always find something. We can always salvage something. So anyway, I'm going to start off with, well, sadly, Julian Sands, guys, he's still missing. It's over 2 weeks now that British actor Julian Sands, age 65, A Room with a View, Killing Fields, Arachnophobia, Warlock, many movies. Leaving in Las Vegas is the one I always seem to forget about, that one. Boxing Helena. Is it Boxing Helena or Boxing Helena? Do you know why? I don't know, because I've never seen the film. But he went missing on Friday the 13th. Yeah, I know. We can always talk about Friday the 13th, all ominous, but that's way over 2 weeks ago. In he was doing a day's hike. He lives in LA. He's from Yorkshire in the UK, but he moved out to LA many years ago for the acting purposes, and with his second wife. And he's a massively keen mountaineer, hiker, outdoorsman. And when he's not acting or at home with the family, he's out on mountainsides. And he's never happier than when he's almost at the summit on a really cold, wintry morning. You know, that's the kind of guy he is. And very intrepid and very advanced as well. But he went missing. He never came back. And his wife alerted, the authorities, the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department. This is the San Gabriel mountain range, just about 40 miles north of LA, where he lives, and they haven't found him. I have reported on this a few times. I've done a big video, then I did an update on it, and I think I've mentioned it since as well. But basically, although they found that a couple of days afterwards his mobile phone was pinging, and the cell phone company were able to ping his phone back. But on the Sunday, 2 days after he went missing, his suddenly went dead. As it would do. He hasn't charged it up. The battery would have died. So anyway, where we're up to with that now is it's not a good place to be at the moment. Another guy went missing, but was found. But in the last few weeks, 2 other hikers sadly died, literally falling down the mountainside. But the bodies were at least recovered. But with Sands, and it's the weird thing, I suppose. He's not stupid. He knows that area like the back of his hand, and he would have known what the weather forecast would have been. So he'd have taken every precaution, and yet still went missing. Now we know that high winds and the threat of avalanche has staved off many of the search attempts, the ground search attempts. But for the last sort of 2 weeks, they've been in helicopter runs and drones and stuff. The FBI were brought in, other agencies have been brought in. And his own family, his son from his first marriage and his 2 daughters from his current marriage, have all been out retracing the steps that he took, and to no avail so far. A good friend of his and a fellow actor on the TV show Crossbones, is his name Kevin Reynolds? Might be Kevin Reynolds. Has said, because he met on this show, and both had an interest in hiking, And he said, like, well, we've been out and we've been to that area many times, and I still think he's out there. He's surviving. He's holed up somewhere and he's surviving. Oh, I hope you're right. I really do. Julian Sands has, I think, 4 brothers, and they are a close-knit bunch. Beautifully, despite circumstances, their mum and dad split up and got divorced when they were all young, and some of the brothers went with the mother and some went with the father. But throughout their lives, they've maintained a close bond, and they call themselves the Monday Club. The brothers all get together every Monday. But the other 4 brothers live in Yorkshire, where Julian Sands was born and raised. So they meet up, a few beers, pizza, whatever. Just a big get-together every Monday, without fail. Now, even though there's many thousands of miles between Julian Sands and his brothers, he's out in LA, he gets back as often as he can, and he meets them, and he has a whale of a time. If only for a night, but he'll get there, he'll travel there, and he'll have a good beery session, and then he'll go back to LA the next day. Now, very touchingly, his brothers have said, although we know his family and his kids and his wife are still clinging to hope. This was a few days ago. This was sort of like probably almost a week ago now. They said, like, well, we've kind of resigned ourselves that he's not coming back. And we've inwardly said our own goodbyes to him. But it would be so great to have him suddenly walk into the pub, striding in like he always does, with one hell of a story to tell. I really hope that happens. I really do. As I say, I've been following this case since the news broke. And the news only broke 6 days after he went missing. It's actually a week after he went missing, the news broke. And they only found his car the day before. So 6 days after he went missing, they found his car in the car park at the trailerhead of the Baldy Mountain area. I always find, I did mention that before, I don't like that. That seems odd to me. I'm not trying to find mystery where there is no mystery, but he was going to that area, and that's where you'd park your car and then begin your hike. So it took the police from the area 6 days to find his car in the car park at the trailhead where anyone would have parked their car to go on that journey. Now, what they're using now at the moment, they're using I think it's called Reco. And Reco is like a surveillance search and rescue device. It's a device which recognises things as small as credit cards and other electronic devices. So it's helicopter borne or even in planes. And but hikers and mountaineers have a little reflective piece which they put on their jackets, on their backpacks, on their helmet, on their boots, wherever. And it's part of the same thing. So this system is designed to recognise that small reflective surface, but it can find things as small as credit cards and other reflective surfaces and electronic devices. So they're using that now in the hopes of finding, his wherever he may be right now, or his equipment may be. So at least they're still trying. Now you've got to remember, most searches now these days, they may go on for like 8 days, sort of maybe 10 days, depending on how much, what the conditions are and how many people that really want to get involved in it. But then the searches have to end at some point. You have to look, we can't keep using this manpower up, and then families and friends will do their own searches, maybe for years afterwards. But my God, I've been really optimistic about this, certainly initially, but now, I've got to say, I can't see any hope really now. And I don't want to be saying that, but it doesn't, after all this time, what's he been living on? He wouldn't have took enough food for all this time. And it's snowbound as well. And you've still got the high winds. But But as his friend says, you know, he's an advanced climber, an advanced adventurist. You know, if anyone can survive this, he can. Okay. As I said before, if he comes out of there, that is one hell of a story and one hell of a movie to be made. But I don't want to make light of it. I think it's truly tragic and horrible. But stranger things have happened, genuinely. So, anyway, folks, what else is there? Colds, viruses, bugs. I have never been so ill continually in my life as I have been in the last sort of 12 months. Now, and don't worry, I'm not going to, oh, it was the vaccines. But it is the fucking vaccines. I didn't want to have the vaccines in the first place. And I know that many people I know have had no issues at all with the vaccines. I had 2, then I had the booster. The booster. It was another fucking vaccine, wasn't it? Pumping that shit into me. And of course, each time I got an injection of vaccine, I was ill for days. Ill. I've done videos on it before. Really badly ill. Well, I got summoned again for another vaccine back in the last year. They got that from me. You can fucking jab with that. No, not having any more. Screw 'em. Oh, God. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to be great. It's going to give you protection. Protection. No, it's going to fucking cripple me for days. I know it. It's happened 3 times already. So, no more. Now, I have had, in the last sort of 12 months, cold, virus, sore throat, issues, almost continually. I've never had that shit before. Never. And I did catch COVID last year. I had it for a week. It was bad, but it wasn't as bad as the effects of the jabs. I was 10 times worse with the fucking jabs. So, and I know many people who are continually ill. They've got issues that they've suddenly, it's a nagging cough. Now, you guys know I've had a cough because there's very few videos I've done in the last few weeks where I've not coughed at some point. And I've always gone, oh, it's that nagging COVID cough. It lasts for months. Well, yeah, it may well be. But it's all part and parcel of, you know, things that have happened. Man-made fucking viruses unleashed upon the world. And then man-made vaccines to try and combat it. All big pharma. And laws coming in, you know, you must be vaccinated. You know, and social stigma if you don't. Well, it's not done me any favours at all. So, officially now, I'm saying to all the medical authorities, anyone that tries to tell me to get a vaccine, fuck you. Fuck you. It ain't happening. You bastards have already killed me. One way or other, you've killed me. I know it. I can feel that I've changed. I know I'm different. No way on earth will I have had all these issues. Oh, but you're getting older, Kilt-Man. Of course you are. You're getting older these days. You know, you're not the spring chicken you once were. Screw off. I'm super fit. I might drink like a fish, but I fuck like a bunny, you know? And I am incredibly strong and fit and virile. But no, this is not right. This is not just age creeping up on me. And it sure as hell ain't no midlife crisis. Although I've been rehearsing for that for most of my life. So, yeah. What else is there? Oh, yeah. People dancing. I've written down here. People dancing. I love dancing. I was out the other night. There's a superb band on in the Cask just down the road called the Misterons. Yeah, the Misterons, like Captain Scarlet. But when their first song is The Jam, which I love. What a great way to start. My God. And they were very 80s and it was brilliant. It was really jumping. It was lively. Everyone was up and dancing. It was packed and it was great. Had a wonderful time. So dancing's great. So what's your beef with dancing then, Kilt-Man? Well, I shall tell you. Adverts, commercials, and you will have seen these. I mean, I presume America and the rest of the world's the same as the UK when it comes to bloody adverts all the friggin' time. And almost everything, whether you're advertising a vacuum cleaner, whether you're advertising TikTok, especially TikTok, or even selling your car or buying a house or anything, why are all the people fucking dancing? What the hell? What's the point of that? There's this fucking series of adverts right now in the UK, like for WeBuyAnyCar.com, and like you'll have, and it's always you, the viewer, are sitting next to the person who's just sold their car in their car, and you go like, "You just sold your car. You just sold your car, right?" And then they have to realise, and they go, "I just sold my car." And then they start dancing, they open the door, they get out, and they start doing all crazy dances. There's a young black guy doing it, doing all crazy fucking moves and all that, throwing shapes with wild abandon. Then you got an older guy, a big bohemian, with a big fucking cap on and lots of different colours on him, and he's doing all stupid shit. And then there's a young mother with her daughter there who are dancing round. Why? You've got people, it's advertising cereal, and they get up and they start dancing. Why is everybody fucking dancing? Stop fucking dancing. You're doing my head. You're doing my fucking Sweden. Honest to God, I wish I was fucking armed. I'd be like, yeah, dance now, motherfucker. Yeah, do Michael Jackson. Yeah, do Jamiroquai. I don't like it, folks. I don't like it. I don't understand it. I think it's really, really dozy, pathetic, misguided advertising as well. Who are these advertising movers and shakers that they sit there and they brainstorm stuff? Oh God, well, we're selling retirement homes, and we're also offering a will writing service. How are we going to sell that? Well, we get the old dear who's just lost her husband. She gets up and dances a jig by the coffin. What? Just what? And the amount of food adverts. Oh God. And every one of them has someone dancing. They're dancing around the kitchens. They're literally leaping over the kitchen tables and all that, like doing cartwheels and stuff, and doing all mega Strictly Come Dancing bollocarama. Stop. Just please stop. Just adverts. If you just had someone sitting there like this and just saying, this scouring pad really works. It cleans everything in seconds. You just go, it's fucking ace. I'd believe it. No, this. And proven by so-and-so scientist has done some research on it, and this is the best we've ever got. It's NASA made, metal fibres. It's the best scouring pad ever. And then they start dancing around. Oh my God. Jesus. And then, of course, they're always going to be, they thrust this down your throat all the time. Everybody, apparently, in today's world is a multiracial couple. Oh, plenty are. Of course they are. But not every fucking couple is. But because it's got to be seen, they've got to be seen to be acknowledging this. And we are forward thinking because we are super woke. It's a black guy, a white girl. A black girl, a white guy. Little multicolored babies. I'm not slamming any of this in reality. I'm slamming the marketing sort of style and this sort of really thrust in your face style, which I cannot stand. Because the real life is not like that. It's meant to be a reflection of modern society. But that is not what modern society is. It might be in some places, but it certainly isn't around here. It's not in many places that I know. There are people that are mixed race couples. Of course there are. And I've got no problem with that whatsoever. But I don't need an advertising company to literally slap me in the face all the time and say, this is how the modern world is. They're almost saying to you, if you don't live with someone from a different culture, then you're not doing it right. I don't know. What else did I put down here? I didn't put a lot down, to be honest. This is quite a quick one, this, to be honest. I've written here, shy big men. Oh God, what does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means. Now, this is something that I've noticed a lot, and it's kind of, I like this, and I feel very sorry. I'm only a short arse. For most of my life, I've been 5'6". That's short. We're talking Tom Cruise. We're talking Hobbit height here. Oh, I know, I look bloody huge sometimes, but that's courtesy of this, the framing I use. But no, I'm a diddy man. Although 5'6". Bizarrely enough, in the last sort of 5-6 years, I seem to have grown an inch. I was 5'7". A late growth spurt, perhaps. But yeah, I'm 5'7" now. It is bizarre. But I've got many mates who are 6.5 feet. They're giants. They're not just tall, but they're broad, they're muscular, they're big bastards. And they're their own kettle of fish. But I noticed the other night, and it's something I've clocked before, but I thought, I'm going to mention this. Hence why I wrote this down. It was in the pub, and there's a guy wearing a plaid shirt. Tartan, as far as I'm concerned, but it's a plaid shirt, a lumberjack shirt. And he was in the Telegraph, and he's got to be about 6'6", 6'7", maybe. It's a big fella, and he doesn't do weights. You can tell he doesn't do weights. He just is a naturally big fella. He was born big, and he just got bigger. Shoulders are out there. It's like Clint Walker, especially in his plaid shirt as well. And he's leaning over the bar. But it was busy in the pub, and I was on the other side of the bar, and I know him anyway. And he saw me, and he's kind of leaned over like that. He's hunched over, and he went like that, and I went, of course. And I've spoken to him before, and I know that whenever he's in the pub, he hunkers down, and his head comes down, his shoulders sort of round out, and he just tries to shrink himself. And it's not because he's trying to talk to you at a lower level. That doesn't matter. His voice, he's got a voice, his voice, he can just direct his voice downwards and it's not going to be an issue. There's many people who are tall and big, and they're intimidated by their own size because they stand out and they don't want to stand out. They don't like it. And I don't know how I feel for them. Even in school, I remember a lot of lads who were really super tall, but they'd become hunchbacks. They'd be getting that horrible thing, that spondylitis, where the curvature of your spine, and because they're just hunkering down all the time. They don't want to stand out. They don't want to be seen. But you've got the flip side is big fellas who I know I'm big. I'm gonna get bigger. Now that's what I would do, because that's the kind of mentality that I have. I'd be pumping iron like crazy and really boosting everything. Oh yeah, I'm huge. Doesn't mean I'm an arrogant bastard. It doesn't mean I'm going to cut through people like the Red Sea. It just means I'm going to celebrate the fact that I've got that size and stature. Sadly, I've got to make do with just a little diddy man sort of stature. But I still cut through people like the Red Sea, But I really do feel sorry for these people who are, they don't like it. They don't like being trapped in this huge sort of Sasquatch-sized body. I get it, and I, as I say, I don't know if I feel sorry for them. And I'd never skit anyone at all. But I know they probably have received flack, which is why they don't like standing out. And just seeing him the other night, and I thought, he's probably about 30, maybe 32, but a lot younger than me, but a lot taller than me as well. But you can tell he's probably gone through all of his life with his head bowed down and trying not to stand out. Even sitting down on a train, he's still going to be towering above everybody else, and he doesn't like it. I just thought, it's nature. It's such a weird thing, isn't it? It might bless you with the body of a god, but if it hasn't given you the soul and spirit and the demeanour of a warlord, then it's all for nothing, isn't it? You know what I mean? you guys will know people like this. You might be like that yourself. I'm just extending, my understanding. People don't talk about this, but this is a magazine program, and we have little issues that we talk about. So, tall people who wish they weren't. Oh no, God love them. God love them. What else can I talk about? Oh well, what I will say, and this is something that I screwed up, but with all the best intentions. When I was out and that band, the Mistrons, were playing, there was a family there. It was busy. There's a family there, and he had a teenage daughter, and it was quite a big family, and they were sitting around these tables, and he had a teenage daughter, probably about 18, 19, who obviously had special needs, and she had a computer, and she was talking through the computer. Well, obviously the music was playing, but you can see what she was typing and that, and my heart breaks every time. Like, I see a blind person. I actively support a lot of blind charities and a lot of other charities, but the blind's always been a big one for me, and my heart just breaks, and I always try to help them, and all the things that you shouldn't do. They are existing perfectly well without your help, unless they need your help. In this case, then you go straight over there. But don't interfere. Don't thrust your face into their life. But I did anyway, and I was dancing, but I sat down and I retrieved my whiskies, which I thought I went to the wrong table, and I thought, who's nicked my whiskies? I had two large glass. Who's nicked my whiskies? And I was about to, and I suddenly realised, oh, they're over there. They're there where I left them, and no one's touched them. So I sat back down, and of course I was not far from where this girl was, and I was looking over and thinking, oh, it's great. They're out, and it's a big, massive, lively, super, super loud band, and the band are only literally about 2 or 3 yards away from them, and people were dancing again, and I leaned over, and I didn't tap her on the shoulder, but I tapped like what I thought was her father, and I said, oh, it's great to see her out like this. It's wonderful. That's all I said, but it didn't land anywhere near as well as I thought it would. It was just like, and in that split second, that sobering second when you realise, oh no. And it was because, and I know what it is, it's like, yeah, well, why shouldn't she be out? Are you making, oh, it's great to see her out because, people like her shouldn't be out. It's not what I was saying. But I understood what the response was. It could have gone the other way, but it didn't. And I kind of realised, oh no, she just left it alone. But you didn't have to say anything at all. She was having a great time. Well, I didn't ruin anything there, but it was just the response of what I presume was her father. And it was just like, yeah, well, of course she is, She always comes out. Why wouldn't she, And I was like, okay. Cheers. Have a good one. Yeah. Oh. See, I'm ultra fallible myself, and again, like a lot of people, I suppose, you make the error, the gaffe of trying to do the right thing because you think you should. Doesn't mean that you have to do it though. If people need you, help them, and it's always. Do something good for someone every day. I always strive to do that. Always. A total stranger, try to help someone. Just be nice to somebody. Hold the door and say hello to someone. They're walking the dog. Say hello to their dog and pass the time of day with someone who you don't know. Brightens their day. But there is a flip side to that. Of course, you might not be brightening their day. They really might not want to speak to you at all. And if you do thrust your very existence in their path, you incur their wrath. Hey, so yeah, and I felt bad about that, and it kind of took the. I've gone about dancing, wasn't I? People dancing like pricks in commercials and all that, and I was dancing like a complete prick anyway. But it did kind of oh dear God, I don't want to get up and start doing cartwheels again. You know, not in the kilt anyway. Never a good idea. No, sometimes it's the best idea. Trust me. Anyway, folks, that was a rather, I'll be honest, lackluster Monday magazine. We're almost at the end of January 2023. Oh, I think I did mention in the last Monday magazine that I had a momentous decision to make. Well, I made it. I did. And I will be leaving employment for the government on March 31st this year. Forever. Had enough. I will probably talk more about this at some point, but at the moment it's still, it hasn't happened yet. So, but I've got to weigh up what the next step's going to be. But something else has to happen. I can't carry on with what I have been doing, and because my heart is not in it. I don't like it. I have no admiration for this government or any the work I've been doing for them because of the way that they've handled it. So I'm out, folks. I'm out. And not before time, to be honest. So, well, there you go. We covered a bit more, didn't we? Something else which is coming your way. There's going to be a vinyl episode. Yes, I won't be dressed in vinyl, but records, because I've got another player. It's just down there. So we're gonna experience that, and it's proper old school. It's proper vintage, yeah. And you know, they sound better than anything you get these days. So we're going to experience that. And also, I have been asked to do my top 10 favourite movies. Now, did I write the guy's name down? Oh, Chai Whittle 28. Chai Y Broken Eye 28. I don't know. On the channel anyway, he said, could you do your top 10 favourite movies? And I replied to him, said like, well, yeah, I could, but the problem is I can't. If you're a massive movie buff, like many of us are, then I really admire you if you can come up with a top 10 list and stick to it. You guys know, I can say right now, but my top movies of all time are The Thing, Escape from New York, Jaws, Wolfen, Suspiria, American Werewolf in London, you know, First Blood, Mad Max 2. They're Predator. It's incredibly difficult to do it. So, what I did do, in banks of 10, yeah, I did 100. And the thing is, I could tell you all of those titles. I could say, oh, the next one's this. And they're doing blocks of 10. And like, there'd be damn good reasons why they should be in my endless top 10. Because they're films I've grown up with, they're films I've loved and admired and cherished all my life. They're films that, as I've got older, they've evolved with me. So my thoughts and feelings have either remained exactly the same and never changed, or they have evolved and only gained, you know, more power and resonance as I've got older. So, you know, I can't limit it to 10. So that's going to be a good video, isn't it? The top 100 movies. But many critics do this as well. So I will justify it via those means. And you know damn well that I could list all 100 and then someone's going to go, hang on, you have definitely said that blah, 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 is one of your favourite films of all time. And I'll go, oh shit, yes, oh shit. I mean, there's so many, but there's a lot of films there which you might not think of. Some of the major obvious ones. If you know me, you watch the channel, you'll know exactly what many of these films are going to be. But there'll be a few that you go, oh, what? Idiot, you know. Anyway, folks, that's the Monday magazine. We did cover some ground in the end, as indeed the search and rescue parties should be doing to try and find Julian Sands right now. As I say, that's an ongoing thing, and I don't see anyone else really talking about it now. I keep up. I always put in looking for the latest news on Julian Sands. It's not a news program at all. So you've got stuff comes out from the brothers and from the family and all that, and from friends who are wishing him all the best and all that, and praying for his return. But as each day goes by, it does not look good. It does not look good. Anyway, folks, just soured the note again there, didn't I? I have been always trying to be Kilt-Man. Please, in the meantime, in this crazy smorgasbord of life in between time, please keep it Celtic, keep it Celtic. I am going to see you all. Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal. God, don't get me started. Please don't get me started.